Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue exploring some expressions of this ancient language capturing the contemporary technology. So terms of the latest, the newest technology, how Chinese reapply itself or, pick and choose, cherry picking from its thousands of characters that are still up and alive, how to use all kinds of combinations, come up to in response to the new meanings or new technology. Yesterday we talked about computer, and today we're going to talk about a specific kind of a new technology in computing, which is quantum computing. In Chinese, it's translated as 量子计算。量子计算, okay. 量子. Well, before I prepared this episode, I never took a look at what quantum computing is about, like why people are excited about it. Turn out it's a powerful, like exponentially, like several orders of magnitudes computing speed improvement if you can use quantum instead of the transition of signal just 0 and 1, right? That's quantum. I don't exactly know. I mean, it's if I know, I wouldn't be probably spending my time talking about the language, but probably doing more, I guess, contributing to human society in another level. But a quantum computing is using the behavior of quantums so that information would be transmitted more easily. And what is a quantum? Okay, I have to check out what is quantum so that I can translate 量子, or I can understand why somebody translate quantum as a 量子. Okay, quantum is the minimum discrete entities or discrete countable, like a separate particles of energy. So here, there is both particle and energy merging there. That's detectable in proportional to the radiation it represents, or it shows the quantum. When it comes to the quantum level, it's not just like an atom, right? It represents both the energy that's in its minimum discrete countable, like a separatable particles. So here, 量子, 量 means energy, and 子 means that particle. Somebody captured these two essence, almost like a duality, something like a dual citizenship of this physical definition. In physics, this definition of thing, that you can look at this thing in two dimensions at least, right? So one, the energy, and the particle. So 量 in Chinese, it came from actually 量. Okay, when in rising tone, it becomes an action. When in falling tone, 量 means the noun. Originally, it means measuring the volume. So it's a volume. You look here. It looks like a scale, right? Here part. And this, right? It looks like a scale that you put something on it, and you're measuring the weight or the volume of things. In this sense, actually, we have another Chinese character in measuring the volume. But here it looks more like a weight, right? But actually, Chinese have the scale thing that with a stick with the weight that you can use that to measure. But this one looks mechanically different. It goes vertically instead of using this. What do you call it? I don't know this. So there is a long end and a short end, right? And then the weight and the distance to this pivot point. Then there is this mathematical computation of distance times the weight over there so that you can compute. But this looks like a different mechanism to measure the weight of things. And you see here it's repeated. This actually is our sun symbol, which is a sphere with something in the middle. that something is our energy implicator. Just one horizontal line to mean it's not empty. There are heat, energy from it. So that's a sun symbol. And over here, actually, in ancient times, there was no differentiation. It's contextual differentiation. Again, that in this context, it's not measuring the sun. Like, how are you going to measure the weight of the sun? Here is measuring the grain. And I guess this is an ancient depiction of how the grain, imagine rice, I guess, look. So, I mean, in a sense, it is true, right? The grain is just a tiny little bit of energy capsule that the grain grow from the energy of the sun. So in a way, the sun, which is a huge entity, kind of fractured into so many different small capsules of its energy form. So it's a different energy storage. So I can understand why they can share the same, besides like physically probably they look very different, but somehow in this abstraction space, this grain looks the same as the sun. So this grain is being weighted on there. And then I guess here the green color part is the structure of the scale, however that may look like. And the two horizontal lines at the bottom, that was our soil symbol. So I guess this means this structure stand on top of the soil. And then this is the second of that grain symbol, or this could be the sun symbol. We don't really know the story over there, but it's like two of them being measured. Or it could be the grain within this container, that is the thing being measured. And this second grain looking thing could be the dialer to kind of to measure at what scale the thing is. We don't know. It's an ancient scale mechanism. We can only imagine, but it came from the weight measuring, and eventually it became the unit. The unit, and that means volume. And from this, because when we say 量, it means quantification of things, because it came from this measurement, right? And measurement in terms of weight. And eventually that quantification also paired with energy, with power, becomes the unit of measurement of power. And when we drop the word of power, which is 能, the Chinese express with this bear looking thing to mean muscle power. So when we drop the energy, we only are left with 量. Sometimes in the context, we can also interpret that as energy, even if the energy, the power character was dropped. Then we are only left with this 量, that means unit of measurement. And then we can still imagine, okay, it's the energy or the power character that was dropped, and together they still means, even if it's only half of it left, we can still imagine it means energy in it. And the character itself also have the grain looking or sun looking thing that can, somehow trace back to the energy source, like all energy on our planet from there, from the sun. Okay, so 量 means energy here. 子, we translate as a particle, but originally it means the sun, the child, which looks like this pick me up position, two hands raising. And for a kind of a baby or toddler, infant, age group, they don't really have their leg functions developed yet. So it's like one big torso with arms reaching out, and then big head. So out proportional, oversized head was their feature. So Chinese capture this young age of human development as such. I mean, it's appropriate, right? And then this child then used to mean a lot of things. So ancient When in the West, people quote ancient Chinese speaking, Lao Tzu or Confucius, all of these ancient philosophers or wise men, they have their last name or their ending of their name with Zi. So that's some peculiarity of these ancient philosophers that always have their like distinctive label, Lao. It means old, right? Old child paired together is Lao Tzu. Heavily quoted in the English language. And also Confucius. Confucius, somebody translates Confucius as if it's confusing, but the name in ancient Chinese also is Kongzi, like Confucius probably is this Kong sound translation as well as a little bit of meaning translation, a pair with Zi. So that is, and we have a bunch of other Zis, like lesser known to the West philosophers that ended their name with that. So this could mean they regard themselves as a child. They preserve their original curiosity of a child, or they position themselves in relative to society, to the universe as a child. Therefore, they can think beyond, like not like adult, think like a child, preserve their original or most grounded observations. We don't know, all kinds of interpretations there. But here, what it means, particle means it's a separate entity. Even if it's a young development, young age of human development, it's separate entity. So from this child, Zi simply means countable, singular entity. Okay, so I translate it in this context as particle. And we can, by knowing what quantum is, this Liang and Zi talks both like dualities. It's as an energy form and it's a discrete, separately countable entity there. So it's kind of like a particle. That's 量子. Okay, 计算 we talked about it yesterday. Here we capture. 计 means recording. It came from this ancient roping technology. This is the rope. And this horizontal line intersects with it. It's nothing to do with Christianity. It simply means number 10. Means we run out of 10 fingers to record. So we have to tie a knot on the rope to tell the neighbor, okay, you owe me $10, something like that, right? And then the left is a speaking sign. It has this mouse symbol and 2 sound bits. Okay, going further away, and this 2 concave shape connected with a vertical line is intricate way to mean it's the tongue. So mouse tongue with sound bits together, it composed of this, made of this speaking symbol. And then the right side, I mean, this calculate came from food preparation. So this is a food container with food in it, and this is a container, and this is a 3-finger hand symbol. And when you see both of them in there, it means both left and right hand, and both left and right hand presence means you're really taking it seriously, like you're double-handed handling something. We have 2 hands, right? Sometimes we just in English, you single-handedly can handle something. That means it's relatively easy for you. You don't really need to have your second hand involved. But when you have both hands in there doing the work, double hand something, it's almost like a heavy-handed something, taking something carefully. And food preparation in ancient times, because there was no refrigerator, you have to do your ultimate best calculation to make sure you put in enough ingredients. When it transformed through this cooking process, output is exactly enough to cover everybody, every mouse count in your household. There was no leftover. There was no not enough food for anybody. Otherwise people are going to complain, right? So as the main cook of the household, that's a main function of them. Not only make nutritious, delicious, but it has to be well calculated, no leftover. Imagine the challenge there. Okay, so that's related to food preparation. heavily related to calculating, right? Input, output calculating. And then this bamboo sign, this is bamboo symbol, simply is the implication of the material used to calculate. Material used to calculate related to the Chinese abacus. You know how abacus look, right? I mean, I have an abacus right now at home. I just didn't bother to bring it. So it's kind of a rectangular thing with poles on them and with beads on them. And then it's an easy way to record the numbers. And so basically on one pole, okay, the abacus is divided into two, upper and a lower level. On lower level, there are 5 beads in here. So that's, one hand, 5 fingers in there. On the top, I think there are 2 beads in there. So that means every top one count as 5. So each bead on the top is number 5. And at the bottom is number 1. So you can, in this combination, just on that one pole, go up to number, actually 15, right? But Chinese use it, once it reached 10, it will go to the next pool as if it's the next digit, right? 1 degree up. So this abacus was the ancient computer, basically. Before the invention of computer, Chinese used abacus as a quick way to compute, do simple arithmetics on it. So bamboo is the material to make abacus, and that was used as the main calculating, device ancient times. So 量子计算 together is a Chinese way to, I'm not even sure if this is the new invention of humans that can do the super fast quantum computing. But that's a Chinese way to say 量子计算 as quantum computing. And as new technology emerge, Chinese can always pull something from its archive of thousands of active used, probably 8,000 actively used Chinese characters to make up like different combinations and permutations to make new words to suit, fit with the new situations, new technology. So 量子计算, today's technology term. All right, Cash, to the currency of thinking about one day.